Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Then lock your door. 5, 6, crucifix.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome, everybody, to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here with you.
And Scotty Bonin here with you guys.
We are the Blood Brothers. And...
Rob.
And...
Carmelo Chimera.
Welcome, everyone.
Here we are discussing Revenge of the Creature.
Just Revenge of the Creature.
So much typing on a remote on Amazon Prime app on my TV to find this fucking movie.
I typed in Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but it's just Revenge of the Creature. So I'm like, oh, that's all I needed to do.
Why did you have to type a lot on your remote, Rob?
Because usually, it does like the thing, Revenge. Well, there's tons of movies called Revenge.
Yes.
And I just had to keep going. I'm lazy. I'm not trying to type the whole thing out on that.
See, you need
the battery's dying.
You need Xfinity and the voice remote.
No, I have Xfinity, but I just refuse to use them for television services.
What? Oh yeah. Well, you don't have cable, right?
I mean, I have cable.
You just got all the streamies.
Yeah, but you don't have you just have streaming services. You don't have TV, right?
Nope. I canceled my TV. Never been happier.
All right. I did too, actually. I don't have it anymore either. So
I mean, everything I watch is on Amazon or Netflix, or it used to be Hulu, but they lost my business.
I might just do it for sports stuff.
How did Hulu lose your business, Rob?
They tried to charge my card and there wasn't anything on it, and they canceled it.
That'll do it.
Yep, that'll do it. All right.
But I'm going to just sit here and say they lost my business.
Well, here we are, Creature. I'm gonna start out by giving thanks to our Lord and Savior Carmelo Chimera, because he's got the notes again. I
got some facts stuff too.
Oh, I've already got a God complex, Danny. You don't need to stroke my ego that way.
Yeah, wow. You stroked him last week too.
That's true. Can't wait.
Everybody's getting stroked, but me.
Can't wait to stroke. Now we're renting a house that has a hot tub together in January, so we're going.
Well, it's not. We haven't rented it yet. So
we haven't.
So
yet,
hopefully,
well, see, it's not
confirmed
plan.
yet.
That's just my plan. I'm going to get y'all in that hot tub in the rental, so I can get Scotty to myself.
Yes, we were already all in my hot tub naked. So
okay,
no. It was very good, chlorinated.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, here we are. Let's just start right off. Carmelo's he has a prostitute coming over or something at 5:30 his time, and got to be done.
Yes.
Right. They charge by the minute here in Chicago, so we've got to get a move on.
Oh, I only need 2 minutes.
Since you were 2.
They give me a bulk rate when I buy 5.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you got to go for that rate. You got to go for that discount.
That's right.
Okay.
Speaking of Chicago, I'm ready to hear whether or not we're going to Chicago.
Yeah, Carmelo was going to try and get us on some kind of con there.
Yeah, I will have to update you guys on that tomorrow, unfortunately. But for now, I can give you guys my first impressions of Revenge of the Creature.
Yeah, let's do that.
First thoughts on Revenge of the Creature.
Yes.
I thought this was as good as the first one. If anything, it was even more fast-paced. And some of these Universal movies could be a little slow. And this one was just hit the ground running. In fact, I learned that it was even faster paced. They went back and reshot some of the stuff in the Amazon afterward to add a little exposition about the first movie, because by page 10 of the script, they were already fighting the creature and he'd already killed 3 people. I thought it was really good. So generally enjoyed it. And quality-wise, I didn't feel like this was a decrease in quality. Maybe you don't like these older movies, but this is pretty much on par with the first Creature.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I'll just go next. It was shot a year later. Same director and producer. I definitely think it was cool how they just continued with the creature, and they continued obviously picking up from where the first one left off, and the creature's still alive and well. But yeah, I thought it was very comparable to the first one. Obviously, we're in Florida still, and he's in a aquarium as most, like during half the movie almost. So there's not as much, in like the swamp, or should I say the lagoon. But yeah, I thought it was good too. I don't know if it was better than the first one, though. I'm not quite sure about that yet.
I like the isolation of the first one, so this sort of gets away from that. And so I probably didn't like this one quite as much as the first one, but it wasn't bad. They had some new elements. You had... I don't know. I'm trying to think of other good things I liked. It wasn't bad. It was fast paced, so that was good.
Yeah. We had some new characters introduced that were more well equipped.
I noticed. I don't know if I just didn't notice this in the first one, but I noticed him pulsating more in the neck region when he's out of water. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Rob, first thoughts?
Hated it.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Do you think
the
first one was better?
I've been good late. I've been very good lately. No, I didn't hate it. I know Jacksonville, and they can try to lie to me all they want. Jacksonville's a steaming cesspool, but it just wasn't as interesting as the first one. I mean, it was fast paced. It wasn't as, I guess, like Dan, just wasn't as good. I can't explain why. It just
didn't have that isolation element. That's where it was for me.
No, he kidnapped her like 5 times. He just kept picking her up and dropping her, and then there he is, and he'd pick her up and wander 20 yards down the beach, and he'd drop her again.
I thought about that, and it was obviously because he can only survive out of water for a few minutes at a time, so he had to drop her and go back and get his breath of water, come back out again.
That's the only reason you were able to catch him.
She kept slipping out of his hands, though. Yeah, I think the first one was a little bit better, just as far as feel. But I thought this was, had some equal parts to it.
I thought we were going to get a share of Gilman erotica when he kidnapped her, but I was let down.
I was waiting for that.
There is a movie about that if you guys ever want to do it, but I am extremely resistant to even telling you the title of it.
Oh, is it a porno?
You know the title of it?
Anyways, why don't I go into the synopsis, guys?
Let's go into this. Let's check out
Carmelo,
the synopsis.
Please
of this.
fill us in because I was starting to fall asleep a little.
VHS tape to mail me? This is something that you recorded. It says the Goonies on it in like Sharpie, but it's really not.
The
Lagoonies.
So, wow, that was really funny. I was about to go right into it, and then Scotty said Lagoonies, and I really liked that. Okay, so for those of you who have never seen Revenge of the Creature or need a little refresher because you first saw it in the theaters back in 1955, let me give it to you. Here's what happened. Revenge of the Creature picks up about a year after the first creature from the Black Lagoon. Other scientists, having heard about the creature, have made their way down to the Amazon. They've even found the same boat captain from the last one. And even though he almost died, this guy happily takes them back to the Black Lagoon, where this time they capture the creature. He's pretty tough, but this time they literally fish with dynamite and bring him back unconscious to the mainland, where a scientist and a doctoral student study him at like an oceanarium. And at first, it's all fun and games as they take this poor creature out of his home, prod him with an electric underwater cattle prod, and try to teach him commands. But he gets pissed off, and then, be ready for this plot twist, he escapes. And he kidnaps the doctoral student with whom he has fallen for, or at least we presume he's fallen for her. He has a thing for pretty girls in these movies. And they pursue the creature up and down the coast until finally a posse shoots him dead and rescues the doctor. So it's basically this whole movie is basically the second half of King Kong.
I fell asleep again during your synopsis. Could you repeat everything?
Jesus, Danny's so fucking hard on me. Oh my god!
I'm just joking. That was a great synopsis.
Well, and we related this to King Kong the last episode. I know, wasn't it Alan that produced King Kong as well, and he obviously helped. He helped. This is his story, William Allen, and so there's definitely a feel of King Kong in this too.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it really does feel like if you watched them back to back and you kind of cut out the 1 year gap, they could have been one long movie.
Yeah.
In fact, nowadays movies are routinely over 2 hours. We wouldn't have blinked if this movie was 80 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? If they had just brought him back at the end of the first one, none of us would have been like, "Wow, this movie's really long. It's an hour 40 minutes." We wouldn't have laughed. We would have watched it.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. That was good. That was good. Good synopsis. Pretty straightforward there.
Thank you.
Well,
can we get Rob's rundown?
Yes.
Yeah. What's Robbie's runny downy?
Rob's rundown.
Hold on, I'm texting you, Danny.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that part of the
Messaging
rundown
on Facebook here?
All right. While he's doing that, Scotty.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
All right.
Here's my rundown.
Do it.
Okay. And just to correct Carmelo, she wasn't going for her doctorate. This is the 1950s, and she's a woman. She was getting her master's degree.
I don't really know why she was allowed to be in on all this, but we can get to that. Go
Exactly. Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, also known as Back to the Panhandle. Mm-hmm. We have the return of Steamboat Lucas. We have a dead egret. We have one dead dog. We have one dead SeaWorld trainer. We have menacing swimming, dynamite, fish stunning. We have Clint Eastwood. We have women getting their master's degrees. We have freshwater gill man in a shark-infested saltwater tank. He would have died within minutes. We have Flippy the Dolphin. We have Speedos. We have electroshock conditioning. We have fish roofing. We have lines like, "I'm a man. I don't have to make a choice." And the gill man kidnapped a woman from the lobster house. We have Panic in the Streets of Jacksonville. We have car flipping. We have irresponsible dog owners. And we have the poor monster try to do the right thing in the end, possibly, but we shot him anyway. I mean, I really didn't have much on this. This movie was boring.
That was good. It was a short movie, too. But
what did he do that was right in the end?
He let the girl go. He let Helen go.
The guy kept telling him stop, like a golden retriever.
And he's starting to listen. That's right.
And then they shot him.
No, I would have shot him.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying
he kept wreaking havoc, and he was just going to keep kidnapping her.
Are there numbers for this?
There are. I didn't get a budget on this again. I don't know if you saw that, Carmelo, but this actually premiered in Denver on March 23rd, 1955. So that's a cool fact. And it was actually the highest grossing of the Creature films at almost $1.2 million in just U.S. box office. So I think you said the last budget was $300,000. So I'm assuming that might be close to what this was too.
He probably spent more on this, I'm guessing, with the aquarium and all the extras and everything.
Yeah, because there was a lot of extras in Jacksonville.
I just want to start by pointing out that first maybe I missed something, but I don't know why the woman is really allowed to be involved in all this. Seems like she's just some random standard-by her student that is like, "Hey, I think you guys are great. Let me in on everything."
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
She's really cute, so you got to let her in just because she's a cute blonde.
Yeah.
That's the main reason.
Did I miss something, Carmelo?
All the guys want her.
No, I mean, she's a student who showed up and was like, "Can I look at this thing for my master's?" And they were all like, "Yeah, sure."
Master's in theology.
I mean, students get away with a lot, though. They get a lot of latitude, and I don't want to be crude about it, but yeah, absolutely. They probably were like, "Oh, you mean you want to hang out with us and look at this fucking fish monster for 2 weeks? Yeah, that sounds good to us."
Wait, you want to get in the tank?
I just don't understand how all the doctors and biologists and the master's ichthyology major didn't know to put the freshwater fish in salt water.
Yeah, you may have just ruined the movie for me, Rob, because as soon as you said that, I was like, I have no response. That is awful.
But I realized I thought of that too, Rob. I didn't think about it when they put him in the aquarium tank because it didn't hit me then. It hit me when
he goes to the ocean.
Yeah, it hit me when he went in the ocean. I was like, what? Can he survive in salt water?
Yeah.
Maybe he's dual water-ish.
All waters. It will not affect him.
He'll survive in toilet water with pee in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically
what the Amazon is.
I did think it was hilarious. This movie's a bit dated. Obviously, it's from the 50s. I thought it was hilarious how the guys were treating the girl and fighting over her at the beginning as if it's not a comedy. And so that would have happened in a comedy maybe, but they're literally just arguing over who's going to get her like she's just there to be gotten. You know?
Yeah, see? Man, I saw her first, see?
I saw her first. Oh, here, let this amateur
Right, as if she had no say in the matter.
Exactly.
I got here first.
Yeah, we had...
she was like, yeah, he kind of did, so...
Professor Ferguson, who was John Agar or whatever, and then Joe Hayes, who's played by John Bromfield. Both pretty good-looking guys, so it'd be a hard decision for me if I had to choose between those
sort
guys.
Sort of soft bodies, though. That's how they were acceptable.
No way. I mean, they're not, like, chiseled the way you are, Danny, but they are buff compared to the average man, like myself and Rob.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at marshmallow photo of Carmelo that Rob took.
I don't know who had the better body.
I did not mean to take that picture the way that I took that picture. I was just really happy that Carmelo complimented on my toned shoulders.
Oh.
Yeah, you're looking good, man.
Feeling good. Savannah
this is getting a little erotic, and while I'm enjoying it, we should get back to facts of the movie.
I was going to come back to Danny's point, though, about the 1950s, the guys and everything. They were like, fussing and fighting on who won, and then it just so happened that randomly the older guy, the doctor one, they go out on one date, and then they're engaged. Because like the next cut, the newsreel was like, and Dr. So-and-so's fiance has been abducted. I'm like, well, okay.
They went on a date, and then they went on a swim, and then they did like a little tank swim together too.
Isn't it in the 50s that like if your penis brushes up against a girl, you're automatically engaged?
Yeah,
I thought that was still going into the early 2000s. That's how it happened for me.
Oh, well, that's the only way it could have happened for you.
And then another fun Florida fact. They swam in the St. Johns River, which you could Google it, especially in the 50s. That was the most polluted river besides... Actually, I don't know. It's probably the most polluted river in the world at the time.
I see it is. The 50s. I see it's the longest river in the state in the state of Florida. Is that correct?
I'm not.
Does
sure.
Rob just know everything about Florida?
I Wikipedia.
No, I've had to survey that thing, and basically, like we were out there surveying, and we were shooting wetland flags, and the EPA, the Department of Environmental Protection, was out there, and they said, make sure you don't get wet. We're like, why? They're like, oh, because like. You'll get cancer by touching this water.
Did the river give you satisfactory answers to your survey questions?
It never does.
Yeah, it is the longest river in all of Florida. It runs over 310 miles. Pretty cool. So that's where they filmed all the underwater shots, and then the much of the movie obviously was filmed in the Oceanarium, which was. In marine land of Florida.
I'm just saying that guy was out of her league that she got with. He was way older.
Yeah, well.
I agree.
Carmelo.
He was like 36, 35.
Feel free to commence with facts at any moment.
All right,
he's 36. He'll be dead in 4 years. It's 1955.
Yeah.
Let me dive into this movie then. Paint you a little bit of a picture. How we got here.
Just paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh, damn it. You took it. I was so close.
Don't worry. I've got enough for both of you to take it. So this movie is the only Universal monster movie where at the outset they were like, we want a franchise. So they actually rewrote, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. They rewrote the ending so that the creature would survive the first movie or that it would be vague. And then they could go into this one. And they had this script done within 2 weeks of the release of the first film. So they had already started working on it. And a lot of this stuff was cut from original drafts of the first movie. So we've talked a few times now about the King Kong references. And it's a pretty simple Beauty and the Beast formula, they call it. And most of the Universal monster movies revolve around it. It kind of comes from Dracula, really, the novel, which then became the movie Dracula. And that was kind of the first of these, and then they all sort of just followed suit. It was just kind of a really easy plot motivator. This movie does star, again, Rico Browning, the swimmer who played the creature underwater in the first movie. They almost tried to replace him with another Hollywood swim guy named John Lamb, but he just wasn't the right fit The director felt he didn't quite have the same movements and grace underwater. Rico sort of did all that. That was just him. No one was really directing him underwater. So they brought him back. He's not the only familiar face in this movie. You might have noticed Clint Eastwood has a cameo. I looked his first role.
His first movie role ever.
I immediately went to IMDb searching, and he's not listed on there.
Yeah, he's uncredited.
I saw him on the full cast and crew on there. You just got to scroll way down to the bottom. Yeah,
I thought he did a pretty bad job, actually.
So he plays Jennings, the guy that Professor Ferguson is talking to.
He's got like 4 lines,
and he says the cat has eaten the mouse, but then he finds the cat in his pocket.
The mouse in his.
The mouse in his pocket. But I did not recognize him at all. I'm like, that's Clint Eastwood? Holy shit. I had to go back and rewatch that part.
Well, how'd you know to
he's
look?
He's like 198 years old.
I looked up facts right after the movie.
Oh, okay. No, I recognized him.
He was 75 years old when he did this movie.
I recognized him, yeah.
I actually recognized him because I watched some of the featurettes for the first Creature, and they referenced this. There was a Creature retrospective I got a lot of facts for both movies, and that they mentioned that cameo. Apparently, his role was supposed to be a lot. I said apparently, damn it. I guess his role was supposed to be a lot bigger. Like, not bigger, but it was going to be a more flamboyant scene. He was going to freak out when the rat was in his pocket, and they didn't say why he downplayed it. But I think it was really just Clint Eastwood saying, like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I feel like that's a Clint Eastwood thing to do. So, in any case, interesting thing about this movie, right, is it both in the movie and in the marketing for the movie, they really play up the creatures rampaging through crowds. And this is something that at the time is actually a hallmark of science fiction universal movies of the 50s. Panic, social unrest, these things were very common at the time, like in terms of being in the cultural zeitgeist. That freak people out. So that's why there's very much like a rampaging monster on the poster with people running screaming in the background.
Yeah.
That would have been one of the more frightening things in the movie. Now we're sort of really desensitized to a lot. But back then they were literally like people would leave the movie and they'd leave out their comment cards if they were in the focus groups, and they'd say like, oh yeah, that part where the creature put his hand on the woman's shoulder was really scary. Literally, that's a specific comment. Someone actually several people wrote that. Because it would have been terrifying, and now we're just like, get out of here. He didn't disembowel her.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of to follow that note, we're so desensitized because any of these action sequences or fight sequences looked just not very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of memorable. He throws like the creature curveball, they call it, when he throws the fellow at the end, and then he kind of like swoops up before he hits the tree.
He floats crazy. He like floats to the tree.
I wasn't even specifically talking about that, but that one was crazy. You know what I actually thought at that moment when I saw that? I thought, oh, I bet all the people in 1955 or whatever in the theater, that's the first time they'd ever seen anything like that. We're like, oh my God, oh, holy shit. But watching it now, I was like, oh, ooh. But I'm even just talking about when he escapes from the aquarium the very first time, and he's throwing guys over the ledge, and he's grabbing guys and throwing them. It just looks like a weak guy fighting other weak guys.
He does tip over the car, though, so that's pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome.
What's that car made out of?
Plastic.
I'm sure they had like I'm sure they had lines like cables pulling the car as he was like lifting it or something.
I don't know. Or maybe it was made of something different.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, the aquarium, the actors and actresses that were in the tank scenes were actually it was a real aquarium that was in Marineland, Florida, and there was actual wildlife in there. There was sharks, eels, barracudas. So they actually had to learn to swim with the animals, which you can do that at aquariums now. You can go in there and sign a waiver and actually swim with the sharks. I guess they're tame enough. So they actually had to learn to do that, and despite them being so close, the only incident that happened was with a sea turtle biting off the prosthetic foot of Rico Browning's creature costume. So that's the only bad thing that ever happened. Nothing with the sharks.
Yeah, they had to chase that turtle down and get it back. They didn't have like unlimited costume pieces.
So this isn't like the two like now where they have multiple molds or prosthetics of the same thing. I bet they had to chase that damn snapping turtle down.
In fact, on that point, Scotty, they originally fitted the mask for the creature for Lamb, John Lamb, the man who was supposed to replace Rico Browning. Yeah. But they didn't have like the money or the time or whatever to remake it for Rico when they hired him back. So they gave him the mask that was for the wrong guy, and it was a little too big. So there's a lot more air bubbles coming out of it.
I did notice a lot of air bubbles.
Yeah, I noticed that actually at one point.
I guess they did that differently. They didn't do the same thing they did for the first one. They had to save some money, so they provided air for the stuntmen in underwater sequences. The suit design was changed to allow a hose to pump air to the actor. As a result, there could be seen bubbles coming from different parts of the suit. As opposed to the first movie, they tried not to have any bubbles. So they just saved money in that little area there for the shoot.
I felt like they took a step backwards in dive technology at the beginning because they put on those Jules Verne freaking water helmets, when they dove in the Amazon instead of just using goggles in a tank.
Yeah, that was a huge suit. Oh my god.
I don't know. I wonder what the decision making was around that. Why they decided to.
Maybe they were just trying to save money. They were just like, that thing back in the 1950s was probably like $20.
Or you were bulkier and had more stuff on, and if the creature attacked him like he did, then you wouldn't get beat up as much, and you were able to live through it.
I don't know. All I know is I think $20 in the 1950s is like $20,000 in our money.
That's probably true. I take that back. It was $7.
Oh,
so it's about.
So it's like
1,000.
Like $7,000.
Damn it! I'm not good at math.
No idea.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not very good at math.
I'm just making shit up here.
It's
a joke, Rob.
It's not a joke to me.
Hey, you know what else wasn't a joke? The 3D. So
yeah, there was 3D for this again, right? Yeah,
it's so much better that Carmelo does the notes and stuff because now Danny gets to have fun. Danny's not mad at me anymore.
I'm never mad at Rob.
So speaking of the 3D, this was the last Universal 3D movie in that era anyway. There was a revival in like the 80s.
Tell us how it works. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
We already know how it works.
Stop it, everybody. So this is the way 3D works. First, you need a gimmick to make your movies make more money.
Then dry erase board.
It actually works a little bit, but projectionists are dumb and screw it up, and then it looks like shit. And then everyone leaves the theater going, 3D sucks. And then you do that for about a year, and then you say, we're not going to do 3D anymore. But you do it. You do it one last time for Revenge of the Creature. And then guess what? It's a huge success, or at least you certainly market it that way. And what do you do when an idea works and it makes you a lot of money? You put it away and never do it again.
Yes.
And that's the story of how 3D worked for Universal.
Really?
And yeah, so that's what happened here. This movie, there was a year gap between the last 3D movie Universal did and Revenge of the Creature. Like they took a year break of like, we're not doing that. They did it for Revenge of the Creature. They advertised it as being a success. They were getting more bookings, like demonstrably more bookings for the 3D than for the 2D. And then they were like, okay, well, we're not doing that again. And they don't do it for the third creature. And they don't really do it again until these things pick back up again in the 80s.
Well, yeah, the 3D would have made the creature erotica a lot more exciting.
Naturally, yes. I mean, everyone knows the creature erotica could not be lifelike enough.
What was the name of that movie again?
I think the real connection between the creature and Godzilla is that the creature also has a huge hairy dick.
Or King Kong, should I say.
Or King Kong. That's what I meant to say.
Very
underneath his scales.
Very hairy.
He just sort of slips it out like the mouth inside an alien's mouth.
So
the scales open up and it just sort of like comes
Did
out.
you know that birds have a completely retractable penis?
Oh,
so do cats, don't they?
Do they? I don't know.
Did you?
Who the hell knows about cat? That's weird.
We looked up cat penis on Google that one during one episode. I remember. I forgot what it was.
Really? I don't
That's
remember
right.
that.
We did. Yeah. No, there was a cat penis one.
I think
For a thorough discussion of cat penises, see the archive of Called Classic Horror Show episodes.
I really wish I could remember what episode that was.
We must have got on the subject talking about Rob's penis buried in his forest of bush.
That sounds right.
All right, what's
we
going
talk
on
about
right
it
now?
so much.
So some more facts then.
Yeah, I got some stuff too.
Yeah, what do you got, Scotty? Hit me.
So we didn't have Ben Chapman back for this, right? It was just Rico Browning. Ben Chapman actually is in the poster or the cardboard cutout of the creature that's at the Oceanarium, and but
who's Ben Chapman for those that.
Ben Chapman did on the on top of the water scenes in the first creature.
Yeah, this one I think is it Tom Hennessy?
Tom Hennessy did this one. So I don't know why Ben Chapman
was
didn't.
that asshole effects guy involved in this one again, Carmelo?
Yeah, was Stu or whatever his name was back?
Good question. I believe his Westmore. I think his name is Bud Westmore.
Right on it.
So, not mistaken, I've got that note here. Yeah, Bud Westmore is a bitch, is what I wrote last week.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you want to read my notes, just pledge $1 to the Cult Classic Horror Show Patreon, and you can see all of our show notes.
You got some good notes too.
So, and I draw little erotic pictures in the corners of the notes too. If you want to see that.
Rob's drawing erotic pictures and showing them to me on his camera right now. So.
Oh wow!
I especially like Rob's drawings of chairs. That's my favorite.
I drew a fantastic chair.
Anyway, so Tom Hennessy.
Bud Westmore did get credit on this.
Fucking Bud. Yeah. So he was the actor and stuntman that played the creature on top of the water scenes where you see him swimming and grabbing Helen and whatnot. There I go. I can only say whatnot, and apparently no one else can. So, anyways,
and Tom no. Well, just whatever.
Tom Hennessy almost drowned during filming. He obviously was playing
Scotty
the creature.
Can say a lot too. I'm trying to work on that one.
He was playing the creature as he grabs Helen Dobson, which is Lori Nelson. She was the hot blonde. Obviously, you guys probably didn't think she was hot.
I think we need to cut back on obviously too. I think I've said it 8 times this episode so far.
Yeah, stop that.
Obviously.
So it wasn't Helen Dobson that he grabbed. It was Ginger Stanley again, who we saw in the first creature, on the pier and jumps with her into the water. The scene was shot at night, and when Hennessy and Stanley hit the water, they discovered it was full of jellyfish. In addition, a free current started to pull them both down. Hennessy let go of Stanley, who swam to the surface, but Hennessy's inflexible Gillman costume, which is a different material that was used than the first one, a lot heavier, pulled him down to the bottom and within the current and waterlogged within his suit. He was rescued by 2 local boys who happened to be watching the filming, and they were in a nearby boat and quickly raced over and pulled him in. So he almost drowned and had to spit water out, and they had to almost halfway revive him, but that would have been kind of crazy.
Oh! Holy
good God almighty!
Goodness sakes. What
son of a Tom Hennessy.
That means it's time for the horror time.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast again, guys, but you're going to want to hear this. I just got off the line, if I called him. It was an email. But Fright Rags wants to hook everybody up with an incredible discount. All you have to do is go to frightrags.com, find one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of incredible, awesome shirts and all kind of goodies they have there. And before you hit the purchase button in the checkout, put in the code Cult Classic 10, all capital letters, number 10, 10% off, store-wide, anything you want, 10% off, thanks to the Cult Classic Horror Show and Fright Rags. Let them know we sent you, put in that discount code, and go to town. 'Tis the holiday season. Stock up for yourself, stock up for family and friends. If you have anybody who is into any movie, known demand, they're gonna have it. I am talking, they have Fangoria, they have all the Evil Deads, they have all the Aliens, they have American Werewolf in London, they got the Big Trouble in Little China, they got Old School, we're talking Bela Lugosi, they have all the Halloweens, they have Leprechauns, Meatballs, My Bloody Valentine, Predator, Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 3, RoboCop, Saw, Scary Movies, or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Teen Wolf, Splat. Look, they have it all. They even have The Fly. I'm talking 1986 Cronenberg style awesomeness here, guys, which I want all of these. Anyway, go there, load the cart, Buy as much as you want and know that you're saving a little bit of money using Cult Classic 10. 10% off store-wide, 10% off everything. The only catch, this code is only good until December 31st. As soon as the ball drops and the new year comes around, the code is gone. Go ahead, use the code, enjoy your savings, and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Yes. Do we have a winner? Or what is the horror?
We do.
God.
I'm trying. Yeah. All right.
Just you talk.
Yep. I'm trying to leave
I sent you the winner.
Trying to leave a nifty little gap so that we can play our ad. But you guys just keep fucking it right up.
Quiet. 1, 2, ad time.
Ooh.
Wow, that was a great ad that
I don't know about that. All right. So on the horror halftime, we've already ruined it. We've ruined it already. I should have said the horror halftime.
The horror
first.
halftime.
The horror halftime is where
Who edits these?
you get a chance to win some free CCH swag. So basically, all you have to do is submit a meme on social media or in the Cult Classic Horror Facebook group. Tag us at Cult Classic Horror. Use the hashtag horror halftime to be entered to win. What you're submitting is a meme from last week's episode. So if we like your meme the best, we will choose it and you will win a free shirt or stickers or whatever else the hell we're going to give to you. So make sure if you want to participate next week, you create a meme that has to do with Revenge of the Creature. You put it in our group. You use the hashtag horror halftime, and then we can find it. And you are now entered to win. The horror freak of the week this week is Jason Watts.
JW.
Jason.
All right.
For adding Dracula Dead and Loving It to the Universal Monsters collection.
Oh, yes. Because we did talk about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
He was paying attention.
So
good job.
You win. Shoot us a message on the page. Give me your shirt size, your address. I think it's a first timer. I did enjoy. You guys had some awesome memes out there. Patrick Rufa did, and Rich Colson. The Judd ones keep coming. So yeah, keep it up. Keep it up.
I haven't heard from Judd in quite a while.
Yeah, well, that's because some people don't like it, and some people do.
Oh.
I thought we had a Jason before. I thought Jason Watts did win before. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Maybe.
Let us know if you did when you messaged us.
Don't let us know that. I'm not going to take it away from you.
No,
now
of
that
course
I've given
not.
it to you.
We will not take it away. But
all
it would
right.
just be nice to know.
I guess a few announcements. We don't have a ton, except that we're going to do The Creature Walks Among Us, the third and final Creature movie, next week, and then we'll be letting you vote on what the next movie is. So if you would like to do that, become a part of the team here and decide what the show covers, you can become a patron on Patreon and at the $10 level or above, and you can decide what we do. You can also leave voicemails that will play on the show and let us know what your thoughts are about the movie. So we're going to do Creature Walks Among Us, and then I think we're going to do the live episode the week after that, which again, at a certain level of Patreon, you can participate in that. We're gonna argue about which Halloween is best. There's the original, there's the 2018, and of course there's the glorious
my personal favorite, the Rob
Zombie.
Yes.
And so we're gonna debate and settle this once and for all. We know you guys have some pretty strong.
I'll be on Team Zombie.
No, you
it's already been decided.
We have some pretty strong feelings, all of us, about this, and we know you do too. So we hope you'll join us for that. You'll also want to become a patron because if you tuned in 2 weeks ago, we did Terminator as because it's kind of a horror action movie, and it was our crossover with the Cult Classic Action Show Patreon exclusive podcast. So if you want to listen to Terminator 2 and learn everything you never knew you needed to know about Terminator 2, just become a patron, and you'll get that free bonus episode in 2 weeks.
Yes, please do so. Okay, and lastly but not least, if you haven't already, you should have by now, go to Amazon Prime, watch She Walks the Woods, our first feature horror film, and leave us a review.
That'd be so awesome, you guys.
We need all the reviews we can get in our first month here on Amazon, so please do so.
5-star reviews.
Well, that'd be preferable, yes.
Yes.
or an honest 4-star.
Yeah. All right, well, that concludes the Horror Halftime.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the boomstick segment where we
Boomstick.
shotgun some facts.
I got some facts.
Over to.
All right.
Oh, you want to go? You want to shotgun him?
Let's do it.
You want to go 1-1, Scotty? We'll double team him.
I'm down.
All right, you first.
All right. At the beginning,
come true.
at the beginning of Back to the Future Part 3.
What's Back to the Future Part 3?
Danny, let him
second.
finish.
Okay.
Marty exits a movie theater dressed in his cowboy outfit and tells Doc, I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood wouldn't wear this. When he says this, he is standing next to the poster of Revenge of the Creature movie, which is Eastwood's first movie appearance. So look for that when you watch Back to the Future Part 3.
That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Original script, the creature was going to be shot down by helicopter shooters, even furthering the similarity to King Kong.
Oh. So viewers may notice that that the clock in the Lobster House moves forward in time by over 2 hours in just a matter of a few seconds. There is a good explanation for this continuity error. While filming this scene in the crowded restaurant, heat from the film equipment triggered the building's sprinkler system. The actors and actresses and extras and production equipment were soaked. It took several hours for the large number of people in the scene to dry off and find new clothes. So the break explains why time progressed on the clock so quickly in the final cut of the scene.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, you got me there. So whenever they fired bullets underwater to make it show up on camera, they would fire marbles because they were fatter and they looked really good. But it's, you might wonder, is that any safer firing marbles at the actors than bullets? And, probably not. Marbles probably would hurt a lot. So I'm sure the bullets are worse. The water is the great equalizer, but the bullets did not show up on camera underwater. So the marbles win.
Oh, damn it. I was wondering what those were.
I actually did wonder that at a moment, too. It's like, I don't know.
The restaurant from which the creature kidnaps Helen Dobson was the Lobster House in Jacksonville, Florida. The restaurant was burnt down in 1962 later, but there is something else there now, and I forgot what it was. But there's another restaurant there, I believe now.
Nice.
Are we still doing this? What's going on?
Do you want more facts?
Yeah, hit me, baby, one more time.
So this is a fun one. The director, Jack Arnold, seemed like he was kind of creeping up on his lead star, Laurie Nelson. I guess they were all staying at the same motel, and Laurie gets there with her hairdresser Lillian, and the front desk informs them that Laurie has an adjoining room with director Jack Arnold, and that the hotel had been given instructions to leave the adjoining door unlocked because Mr. Arnold would need regular access to Laurie in order to go over lines and things like that. And so she was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So Lillian, the hairdresser, is going to stay with me in my room. But it didn't stop him. And Jack would come in at his pleasure, and he would hang out with them, and he would try to rub her feet and stuff. It did not cool him down at all.
Wow. Okay.
Thought you'd like that.
That's freaking awesome.
That one's sexy.
The building now where the Lobster House is the River City
Pool Hall?
River City Pool from The Music Man. No, it's the River City Brewing Company.
You don't say what it's from. It ruins the joke.
Dude.
Then people who know what it's from are just like, hey, yeah, those guys.
Rob, what do we do when Danny and Scotty fight?
What's the joke?
I don't know if any of our listeners know of the Music Man. So
you guys listening to this, let me know that you know what the Music Man is and that you would have got that joke without Scotty explaining it.
Oh, we got trouble right here in River City with a capital P that rhymes with T. That
obviously,
stands for
Rob
pool.
won't know. He's not a learned man.
That stands for pool.
I am a learned
got
man.
Trouble
okay,
right here.
He's street learned. He means book learned.
I've seen Paint Your Wagon multiple times.
That's the only
that's a
one you
classic.
have seen.
It's good.
I've never seen Paint Your Wagon.
How have you never seen Paint
All
Your
right,
Wagon?
let's.
Got a dream. Oh, no, I'm not even gonna try to sing.
Were you just singing? Were you just singing from Tangled?
No.
I got a dream.
Are we
He's
on
got
to-
a dream. Got a dream.
No, I don't remember the words. I only saw it once or twice.
Anyways, to listen to us here sing show tunes. No, go ahead, Carmelo.
Did you know that when they actually try to revive a large fish, they do exactly what they did with the creature, and they walk it around and try to force water through its nose?
Huh.
Yep. I have done it many a times.
Real ichthyologists do that.
Because sometimes, like, if you catch a big fish that you're not going to eat, like if it's like a black drum or something like that, they get tired out when you're bringing them in. You have to wake them back up, otherwise they just die.
Jeez, that makes sense.
All right.
I thought everybody knew this.
Gross.
Yeah,
It's not gross. It's kind of gross. But
I do that to unconscious hookers. You just walk them around in waist deep water, and eventually they'll wake up or drown.
Blow a shot
back in those
days,
yes,
back in those days, horror and sci-fi movies. Before my client says anything else more incriminating, horror and sci-fi movies were all.
Are you representing Danny too?
Yeah, please.
I guess. All horror and sci-fi movies were considered B movies, so Laurie Nelson actually wanted to leave Universal in part because she was cast in this. But now, of course, this is like the role she's remembered for.
Yeah.
I have no idea who she is still.
Right,
She's
it's
still
like
alive.
exactly like
She's 85.
if you don't know her from this, you probably don't know her. In those days, the contract actors lived on the Universal set almost. It was like a big college for actors, and they would go to classes. They would go to like screenings, and they would go to diction classes, and they would do film critiques, and they would learn like horseback riding, and then they would just be like, "Oh, hey, you're in this movie today. Let's go," and they get like drafted. But she left after this movie. So.
You know, Laurie Nelson, Bend of the River, the All I Desire. Those are the classics, man. Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of any of them. Sorry. This was double premiered with guy just freaking had it. I'm sorry. It was double premiered. Oh, someone else go because I can't find it. Here it is. Cult of the Cobra. So there's a double feature with that, and they were marketed together, which was another 1955
Is that
horror
supposed
film.
to be interesting?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my God!
I was just wondering.
It's a Cult of the Cobra. It's a cult classic horror film.
Oh.
So yes.
Oh, I guess we'll do that next.
Yes.
Aren't Colt and Cobra names of three ninjas?
I think so. Colt.
I don't know if Cobra is.
I know Colt is.
All right, Carmelo, what do you got?
The original script, actually, it made a couple things clear that sort of like got lost in the filming. When the creature escapes, it's the flash bulbs of the photographers that's supposed to drive him bonkers. And they, it happens in the movie, but there's not enough shots to really make you connect that. And similarly, the script made clear that there was a love triangle between the doctor, the student, and the creature. And I guess like the script had all these like dirty looks written in there. Every time that the dude was going to touch the girl, the creature was supposed to give him like a look, but they just didn't film enough of that stuff to like capture those details. So it's in there. They filmed what the script was, but whoever did their shot list did a less good job than we're doing on our next movie, and just left some of that stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I have another one here. Director Jack Arnold liked to use the sides of the movie screen as the arches in a proscenium style, with unexpected intrusions coming in from the sidelines. You could probably notice the dog coming in the first time we see the dog. He just pops in out of nowhere. But this is mainly seen the jump scare, which didn't really get me. Is seen where Professor Ferguson goes out into the darkened area around the motel to look for Helen and the missing dog, and a hand suddenly reaches out from the right of the side of the screen to touch him, giving him a start, and it's a startle, and it's not the Gill man, it's simply just Laurie Nelson. Helen.
I was pretty pissed off at the fact that their dog was killed.
I know.
Hers was.
That does suck. Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, he's probably just gone. He'll come back.
Yeah, well, wasn't he astray? Wasn't he astray though? Like he just showed up at the aquarium, and then she started just saying, "Oh, hey, this is Chris." Wasn't that his name? Chris?
Yeah, his name is Chris. Helen's dog's name. That's my cat's name.
Yeah.
And it was her true love and favorite boyfriend, as she says. in the movie.
Well, it seems like our facts are getting a little stale here.
Yeah.
Stay. I'm not even. Wait. I got more. I got good stuff here.
Well, you guys are giving me flack,
Okay,
so let me rephrase that.
I
It
have
seems like
crappy.
Scotty's facts are getting a little stale
I have some
here.
crap. Yeah, mine are all run out.
So
What's the matter with you two? Are you guys having a fight or something?
Let's just no. I'm just
bitter about
I'm just
everything.
Did
trying.
Scotty get a part that Danny wanted?
No, I'm trying to quality control here, and it's just
All right,
Yeah,
so
some
here's,
of
I got
those are some
the pitch
gutter
with my
ones.
last three, then, and we can wrap her up.
okay.
Other titles, there were a lot of titles thrown around for this movie, like Mystery of the Black Lagoon or Return of the Creature of the Black Lagoon, and Revenge won out, even though he doesn't really revenge anything. Florida, the weather sucks. I don't know if you guys ever heard that before, but apparently the weather there is shitty, and it was so humid that their shoes grew mildew in the closets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is the panhandle of Florida.
And then
It's Satan's sweaty taint. It's the worst place you ever want to be.
Everything is just mildewy.
Why are you there?
Because I can't move to Colorado yet, Danny.
because Mary O'Neill lives in Florida.
Why is Mary there? Why did Mary decide to be
don't
there?
bring my mother into this.
Why didn't she
You
just
should've
retire
moved
to
to-
Colorado?
you should've-
Like most Floridians.
You should have moved to like Miami or something.
Yeah, do you have
No, Miami sucks too. Don't let that fool you.
are there generations of your family that were in Tallahassee? Where did Mary come from?
No. Mom came from Alabama.
Well,
this is probably an upgrade to Alabama.
Yeah,
yes.
I can see
All
that.
right, okay. All right.
But not much. No.
Finally,
No.
Flippy the Dolphin.
She texts me daily, by the way. I get a daily text message from that woman about there's a blizzard and like people we live through hurricanes, multiple hurricanes a year, and she's like, I just want you to know it's the coldest it's ever been in Denver. It's never been this cold. And I'm texting Danny. I'm like, what?
This is just
what the
normal
hell's
here.
going on up there? And Danny's like, it's whatever. It's like I saw him showing her pictures. See, they went. Danny and them were out trick or treating dressed as circus people. They're not dying in Denver. It's not like -60.
No. You have to go where Carmelo's at to get those temps.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
All right, Carmelo, finish out strong here.
All right, time for me to finish. It's my favorite part. A couple of quick ones. Flippy the Dolphin is the name of the dolphin in the movie. He lived at the Oceanarium where they filmed, but he was like a huge prima donna, and he would only perform if there was a huge crowd. So he wouldn't actually, any of the shots you saw, they had to use footage from his public performances because he would not perform for them on camera.
They killed 3 of his understudies.
That happens
God, no, they didn't.
That happens to Rob when we're making sex tapes.
It is.
Just needs
true.
that crowd.
I do. Mainly, I just need Chris sitting on the nightstand.
Yes,
staring at me
my Persian
blankly.
cat.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty, at least you know that Rob didn't whack it when he stayed at your house.
Well,
No, there's no possible way. No, that cat.
That's not a
looks
promise.
So deeply into your soul when he's sitting on that nightstand, you can't get anything done.
yeah, makes you go limp.
Unlike the first movie where the suit had flex gaps around the joints, Tom Hennessy in this had to wear a very inflexible one-piece suit. While he was wearing it at one point, he fell over carrying Lori Nelson. I guess like he isn't as tall as the creature purports to be, so he's kind of sitting way lower in the suit. So to hold her at normal chest height for the creature, he's actually lifting her up like just above his shoulders, which is much harder. And he was a pretty strong guy, but it just is a very awkward hold. So he did fall over with her at least once. The doctor reads her a love poem. It's from Sir John Suckling. And then finally, in the Indian cut of this movie, they cut out most of the scenes with Lori because she was too sexy. Like it was like too much leg in this scene, too much bosom in this scene,
She
too
has
much
some nice legs.
swimsuit. Yeah. And
I'm
then
sorry, I completely blacked out when I heard suckling. I don't.
That's all I got, guys. That's Revenge of the Creature.
There was just a couple things, no facts, just a couple little lines that were said in this, so that wouldn't be said today. So when they're sitting on the beach sunbathing, Lori and the doctor, Professor Ferguson, he asked her, what do you want in life? And she's like saying all these things and stuff. And then she's like, well, what do you want in life? And he's like, I'm a man. I don't have to make a choice. So I'm like, wait a second.
My wife
Really?
came in from the opposite room and was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. It's like women were like, had to make a choice and had to get everything figured out. But men, men were good. They did not have to get anything figured out. And then at the very end, the cops were chasing after the Gill Man. The cop chief leader said, "Everyone, the professor is in command." Why? Why is the professor in command now? And then obviously the professor, all he had to do was just yell "stop" 4 or 5 times. So he should have just done that in the very first place, and the creature would have just let her go. But oh well. Anyways, yeah.
Well, that wraps up Revenge of the Creature. I don't know if you have to leave us, Carmelo, before we move on to our final segment.
No, let's do it.
What did you watch?
Oh, shit. We all missed
Why
it.
did you leave?
Oh, Rob has to take 15 minutes to look up all his shit now.
It doesn't take me 15 minutes. It just
you got to prepare for this.
Well,
I saw a couple things.
In theater, I'm assuming, because you don't have children. And you can just wander around the city of Chicago all nimbly-pimbly like.
Yeah, that's basically my life. I saw Terminator Dark Fate.
Ooh, yeah, theaters. How was it? I saw
boycotting it.
It was one of the better Terminator sequels. And, I get that people have, reboot fatigue with this series. My criticism is that, each of the last 3 Terminator movies, they're all reboots. Mm-hmm. And it does make you feel less invested. That said, this one was great. Linda Hamilton's back. She's awesome. I love what they did with Arnold.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, those lips.
Some of the new stuff is really cool. It's just really good. I think it's great.
I saw it was top box office for the weekend.
It was, but it's also bombing pretty bad. It looks like it's going to lose a lot of money.
I heard it was going to lose because I'm guessing the budget was pretty high for that.
Yeah, I'm sure the budget was like $200 million. Oh, 500 million?
Well, what they're saying is, given the marketing costs involved, the movie would need to make like 480 something in order to be considered profitable.
Jeez.
So yeah, you're right, Rob. Production budget wise, $250,000. But before the movie's considered even like a break even worthwhile endeavor.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they said about the Ghostbusters reboot, was that it made money, and then even Paul Feig had to come out and admit that, well, no, we spent like $150 million just on marketing.
Ghostbusters
to try to get people to see it
with the ladies, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about that, how much money they spend in advertising.
Jeez.
Did you? Is that all you watched, Carmelo?
No, I watched a couple other things. I watched Haunt, on
good.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. Watched that on Shudder, which I finally just got, and then I watched Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yes. Oh yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
We talked about it.
In terms of found footage movies, I'd put it up there, one of the highest. It's nice to see that genre can still be fresh, and it's not just like the one-time gimmick of trick people into thinking it was real. Very few found footage movies I think actually feel real. This one, it does. It obviously is fantastical, but it's couched as like a medical documentary. Quick side plug for She Walks the Woods is like that does feel real, right? It's like for good or for ill, the movie has parts that are just about character development, which a lot of these movies don't even bother with. But you could sell most of She Walks the Woods as being real more than really any other found footage movie I can remember.
Thank you, kind sir.
Yeah, actually, I saw it. That's not the only one to think so. I saw that in one of the many reviews for the movie. Is that like, hey, this could have been found footage,
Yeah.
So in any case, though, Deborah Logan, highly recommend it. Haunt, highly recommend. Terminator. Oh, and I saw the new Addams Family cartoon. It was cute, but it wasn't like, it's not like Toy Story or something.
God, what is it like to not have children?
Nice.
It's just like...
It's a children's movie. You could have taken your kids there.
Well, you can only watch all the seasons of Jersey Shore 3 times instead of 4 times like you do, Rob.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll probably have to stop watching The Crow, RoboCop, and American Psycho weekly once I have children.
No. The Crow.
Oh, no. My kids have seen The Crow and RoboCop.
I like RoboCop, too.
Scotty, what'd you watch this week?
I actually watched my favorite for Halloween, The Shining, which you watched the week before, I believe. And I also watched Evil Dead 2013. And I actually had it on.
It's just on in the background.
No, but I watched it when everyone left. I started from where I left off and watched the rest of it. It was, God, it's so brutally good and gory. So those are the two I watched.
I watched Haunt as well. Thought it was really awesome. I got Shannon to watch it with me on Halloween. So she wasn't her favorite, but that's all right. She watched it. She was rooting for Hocus Pocus. So good thing we didn't do
that.
I
watched that already.
Then I'm trying to think if I watched anything else just for entertainment. I think that was it. I watched 2 movies that you guys can listen to the reviews for, or interviews for, sorry. I watched The Fair, which is not released yet. The movie isn't, but neither is the interview. I interviewed the director of The Fair, which is a Dread Central Presents film that will be coming out in a week here, or like 10 days, and I'll release the interview with that too. Pretty good sci-fi indie flick. And then I watched Into the Dark's Hulu's newest installment, Blumhouse TV's Pilgrim, it's called. And
yes.
Because I had an interview with Kerr Smith. If you don't know who he is, he was in Final Destination. He's in Dawson's Creek, My Bloody Valentine, the newer one. So check it. That review has been released already. You probably already listened to it. If you haven't, check it out. But that movie was actually pretty good. It kept me wondering the whole damn time. It was really well acted.
Pilgrim.
The main guy, I don't know him, but I like him now a lot. So yeah, that's what I watched.
Into the Dark. Yeah, they got some good stuff. There, definitely some really good movies there.
Rob,
what do you got, Rob?
I watched. I watched The Nice Guys. It's not horror, but it's got to be one of the best comedies.
It's good. I've seen it before
in forever.
Gosling
it's so good.
Crow.
I watched Critters just because Patrick wouldn't give up on trying to convince me it was real. It turns out it is. It's pretty good. And and then that's right. I even told Danny I was watching it. I watched 3:10 to Yuma. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
It got me. There's not much good horror right now, at least
great.
that I haven't seen. And 3:10 to Yuma is on Prime, I think, for free right now. Oh.
Gotta love Ben Foster.
You don't. Oh no, I didn't recognize Ben Foster in it because from Hell or High Water, he looks much more stockier next to Chris Pine.
Yeah,
dude, he's a lunatic. He's awesome in everything he does.
Yeah,
Ben Foster's the man. He's so good.
I went
Christian
into,
Bale and Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
awesome
well,
too.
I went into 3:10 to Yuma like thinking that Christian Bale was going to be a badass, and he's not at all. And then I was sort of let down. But it is a really good movie.
It's so good that the last 10 minutes of that movie, Russell, it's up there probably with True Grit, like the Coen. It's one of the best westerns. I don't know, maybe like top 10 ever made. I haven't seen The Hotel.
Best western.
Oh no, it's Best Western.
I lived in a Best Western for a year.
Whoa!
How did you manage to live in a Best Western for a year?
And that's a story for the next episode, kids.
All right.
No.
Carmelo's got to go.
Good night, everybody.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for joining us. Follow us at Danny Bonin, at Scotty Bonin, at O'Neilio with 4 O's, at Chimera's Comics, at Cult Classic Horror on everything except at CC Horror on Twitter. Patreon.com/Cult Classic Horror to get a shit ton of goodies. I'm actually about to release a new Cult Classic Comedy episode of our friends who are the hosts doing Necessary Roughness from the 91. So check that one out. I've never even really heard of it, but it's a football movie with Sinbad in it, so how good can it be?
I remember that one.
I love Sinbad.
Yeah, so check that out. All the other bonuses, watch She Walks the Woods, and get ready for next week. What's it called?
Creature Walks Among Us.
The Creature Walks Among Us next week. Cool, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Later.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.